to be a king. Be the song everybody wanna sing. Bring harmony and be the chosen one. Ain't nothing gonna stop this. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. I was born to be making history. Something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. It's plain reality. I was born to be something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. This fire, this fire. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire, this fire. They told me I was never getting far, but those words couldn't take to heart. I knew the day would come, be the chosen one, yeah. I never had a safe place to hide. I run to the end of the tunnel to find a train on a shining sun to be the chosen one. Ain't nothing gonna stop this. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. I was born to be making history. Something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. It's plain reality. I was born to be something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. To be making history, something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. It's plain reality. I was born to be something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. I was born to be making history, something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. It's plain reality. Burn, burn. I was born to be something greater, something higher. Ain't nothing gonna stop this fire. Stop this fire.
So I take out the trash and then I slip out the back in my alligator boots.
the sun shining on me. This house is a jungle. You gotta fight for your place. I was born in the rubble. Gonna keep on climbing. Ooh, for the people that said that I couldn't do it, I take every word, burn it like fluid. Just a red light running right through it. On the top of the mountain, yeah, we've heard our way up to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we never coming down from the top of the mountain. The higher you get, the further the fall. I didn't come all this way for me to lose it. Ooh, for the people that said that I couldn't do it, I take every word, burn it like fluid. Just a red light running right through it. I do it, I do it. For my people, for my team, for anybody trying to give a dream. Back in the day when it was just a dream. Now look at me, on top of the mountain. Yeah, we fought our way up to the top of the mountain. Yeah, we never coming down from the top of the mountain. Oh, this struggle just keeps me coming back dangerous. Oh, this trouble just keeps me coming so high. But from way up here, I swear this game was made for us. 'Cause I can touch the sky. From the top of the mountain.
Yo! What's up, everyone? Happy Saturday. Oh, we made it. We made it. Patrick, how you doing?
Living the dream.
Living the dream. Living the dream. That's right. How's everyone doing in the chat? Glad you were here. Glad you could make it. Glad you're awake. Been seeing all the tweets from Data Saturday Munich. It's making me sad I'm not there. But I hope everyone that's there is enjoying it, and they're probably not here, so, whatever. But everyone else is here, and that's great. That makes me happy. Yeah. Chewy, how you doing, man? Who said we were awake, Matthew? Yes, I know. And SML crew is coming in. Love it. They said they were having a good conversation on DAX. Sounds like Patrick should have been there. I don't know. So, yeah. So, what is... Chris, what's the no for? What's the no for, Chris? I don't know. I might have missed it. All right.
No DAX columns.
No
DAX columns.
All right.
Oh, thanks, user 457. It's old school. This is old school.
Yeah, that's old school. We got some new
come
ones.
to conference.
We got some new ones.
You got to come to the conference to see the new ones.
Yeah. More than just the shirt. So rumor has it there might be some footwear also.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Mark Walter. Treat Ass is amazing. Treat Ass is amazing.
All right. If you are new to the live stream or Guy in a Cube in general, put hashtag new in the chat. We always love seeing who's new here, and we want to welcome you to the stream because it's just great to have you here. It's always appreciated that you're here. Also, shout out to the members of Guy in a Cube. If you see folks with a green name or an icon next to their name, they are members of Guy in a Cube. You help us do what we do here on the channel, so very much appreciated. There's a ton of longtime supporters that just blows my mind every time. And John coming in as a new member. Appreciate that, John. Thank you. And John put in the comment before, this is his first actual live stream, but he's been a long time watcher.
Nice.
So Very much appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes, Crystal, I will smile. Yes,
Yeah.
I will smile.
Oh, sorry. So if you want to learn more about being a member, check out the link on the screen or hit the join button down below to learn more. No commitment required. Just thank you for checking it out.
Look what Victor said. Look what Victor said.
Please fix the title of the live stream. It shows fail. All right. Well, not fixing that right now. So we're just doing it live. That's it. Well, no, I'm not going to do that live. So I'm not going to mess with that right now. I'll fix it after the stream. Thank you for pointing that out, Victor. I thought I caught something, but I thought I put February 23rd instead of February 24th. Apparently, it was the year. It was bound to happen. It's the beginning of. We're still at the beginning of 2024. So, Chris coming in. Smile. We get to talk data. Yes.
Are we really at the beginning? Are we really?
I said we're towards the beginning. We're towards the beginning of 2024. We're still in that. We're still in February, so I refer to that as the honeymoon period of the year changeover, right? So
I'll take it. I'll take it.
And what would Christian say? Hashtag new sometime before the 43 months of membership. Yes, thank you, Christian. Oh, amazing. All right, so good stuff. Just another shout out to. I'll put it in the chat again, but we are 3 weeks out from SQL Bits. And we are 4 weeks out from the Fabric Community Conference. So still time to register and just come see us at the conference and see a lot of other amazing people, learn amazing things, hear all the good stuff. We've got some discount codes for you that are in the chat. So go check that out. We would love to see you there. So thank you for that. What are you laughing at? Who said what?
Matthew's coming.
I'm ready for a divorce. Oh, gosh. What? What did I miss?
I don't know. So I responded.
I missed something there. All right.
Okay, me too, Matthew.
Sure. I'm not. All right. So let's go ahead and Chewy, here since day one. I love you, man. I love you. I appreciate it. So, all right. Rules. We have rules here. Yes, Matthew. Or yes, Crystal. Honeymoon for 2024. Yeah. All right. Rules. We have rules on the channel. So, if you want to get a question in the queue, please put Q: in front of that question. Chatmaster C is standing by to get it in the queue. One time is all you need, and she will get it in the queue. We don't get to every question, so apologies for that. If we don't get to it, come back next time and try again. Please do not spam the chat with your question. It is in the queue. It's just a question of whether or not we will get to it or not. If you do spam the chat with your question or just spamming in general, you will get put into timeout by Chatmaster C or one of our moderators, except for Patrick. So just be aware of that. We have a 3 strikes rule here on Guy in a Cube, so you are forewarned. And I know Matthew and Chatmaster C are very on top of that. So please don't do it. All right, new folks. Let's see who's new. I gotta scroll up. Chat went a little bananas there. I don't even know when I said it. Here we go. Let's go look. So the games we play is new. Appreciate you being here. Camille is new. Melody is new. Let's see who else. Is there anyone else? I'm not seeing any other news there. I know John said he was new to the live stream, so I just saw Chris's old comment. Saturdays are now controlled chaos. That's amazing. Let's see if there's any others. Yeah, Lulu T said I am newish. Excellent. All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here for the first time, and thanks for just saying new in the chat. We love folks participating in the chat. It's a good time, right? And so I love it. And Sai coming in with a hashtag new. Thank you for being here. Much appreciated. All right, Patrick, are you ready for the questions? Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. So, and Melody, appreciate the comment. All right, Evan coming in with a 2-parter. Let's do it. I'm trying to combine and visualize both time series data from Azure Data Explorer and timestamp and daily data in a line chart in Power BI. Azure Data Explorer is in direct query, while daily data is in import. So 2 fact tables. All right. I want the line chart to have a date time axis, so its auto scaling feature works. So I can't split date and time. How would you recommend setting up a common date time axis for the chart?
You still split date and time. Why not? Why wouldn't I still split it? Because I can have a drill. I can have date and time and make a hierarchy of some sort, right? That will collapse it. This is a good one. I've been reading this one like 4 or 5 times, right? And so you would need date time as if you need that level of grain. And so at what are you going, hours, minutes, seconds? So if you need date time, but if they're at 2 different grains, how are you going to visualize them on the same chart?
Yep.
And if you do plan on visualizing them across 2 charts, you're going to have a common dimension. And so that common dimension would be date and time in the same column. So every time you capture whatever it is that only has time, you need to add date to it. And then you made a date and time dimension, which could be a big dimension, because you got to think about how many, 3,600 seconds? I don't know what it is, right? How many minutes are in a day? 6 times 24. So if you're at the minute, so 60 times 24 hours, you got all those minutes. And so you need to make a common dimension that contains that. But the important thing about it is when you come up with the common dimension, you need to put that dimension in dual mode so it can behave as both direct query and import.
So one thing I didn't know, or I didn't, sorry,
What didn't you know?
I may have missed it. So I'm kind of riffing off. Alex made a comment in the chat. Says, why not use the Azure Data Explorer visuals? Load your imported data into Kusto. Even better, go to Fabric and use real-time analytics feature. So, but I thought, because they said it was 2 fact tables, but I thought one of them was coming from Azure Data Explorer. The other one was not, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the other one is imported from somewhere else.
Yeah. So
and you're trying to put them on the same. And you're trying to put them on the same visual.
So that wouldn't work on the. I mean, unless you like rework that other one and not be imported, and you pull that in.
You could visualize it. So if one of them is just bringing in time, right, and the other one's bringing in date and time, and you want to put them on the same axis at time,
then
either you got to split it, or the other one needs to become common like the other one. So where's the grain? Where's the grain that you're trying to visualize?
Right. So really the grain would be at the date, not the time, because when you drill into the time, the other one doesn't have that granularity, so it's always at midnight.
Well, but I thought he said one was date and time and one was just time. I think I missed that part. I thought one was date and time and one was time.
Hang on. Yeah. So he said both time series data. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But one is date and time, and one is just time.
Yeah.
I think. Right. And so you got to go to the grain. You got to go to the grain of the other one, the most granular one, and that's what your dimension would be at. And you put that dimension in dual mode. That could be a big table though, because we have. If you're going to second, oh my God, how many seconds are in a day? I don't know how many seconds are in a day.
I don't know.
24 times 60 times 60. Of course, my 24 times 60 times 60. What is that?
All right.
86,400. Thank you, Tristan. So for each day, you have 86,400 rows, and then you would have that time, however many days you have in that date table. So I would really consider going back to the report consumers and find out actually what question they're trying to answer with that data. Yeah, 86,400. I did that all in my head. And so I would actually go back to the report. Too many.
Wow.
And so if you go back,
he did it in Excel.
Go back.
Don't let him fool you.
I asked ChatGPT, how many seconds are in a day?
Actually, Siri was just listening and gave him the answer in his ear. She knows.
Hello, Stephanie Bruno.
Yes.
And so you got to go to the grain of whatever it is, the question you're trying to answer. And so if they need it At the second, the minute, then there has to be a common dimension that contains that, and put that dimension in DUAL mode, dual mode.
So, Alex, I'm just going to throw out. He's put a Q colon in front of it, but it's relevant to this conversation. I know where he's trying to go. He's trying to spark that conversation of, like how many people consuming it. Like it's real time. So if you want it on TV monitor, so yeah.
No, it's good.
I'm assuming that was related to this discussion.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
So,
I like it.
So Toma, there could be a lot of things based on second too. Like anything it could be IoT related. It could be a lot of stuff. So
I mean, if you're at a plant,
could be
if you're at a
telemetry
plant,
of some kind. Yeah.
Yes, there you go. Right, where you're monitoring all these gauges, and they has to stay, and you keep track of that. So it's lots.
Wait, I think Kurt Bueller's in the chat too. Matthew mentioned. I don't see him. Oh, there he is. There he is. Hey, Kurt. Good to have you. Good to have you. All right. Yeah, ChatGPT, all of them. All right. So hopefully that answers the question, Evan. I hope. All right.
I hope so.
Sandeep, how to do capacity planning for Power BI? What are the parameters to be considered? A lot.
Start with a P1. Or F64.
My thing there is, so we get this question a lot, and the reality is there's a lot of factors that go into it, right? So when you think about it, you've got your data, you've got your reports, how many users are hitting it, what's the concurrency, how many visuals are in there, because the visuals end up producing queries that go against the data. So yeah, it depends. Absolutely, it depends. Sorry. So the answer I typically give customers when we're having that conversation is you need to do a load test, because I don't know your data, and I don't know what your concurrency is going to be. One thing to think about too. So if you're doing a load test, one thing to think about, because everyone's just like, well, I've got 1,000 people that are going to be hitting this report. Yeah, but at the same time, probably not. And even if they do hit it at the same time, there's this concept of think time, right? So if you think about a Power BI report, it loads up and you've got to kind of visually skim it, and then you're going to do something, right? You're going to click, you're going to slice, you're going to do something, right? So there's differences between those clicks and slices, right? So, what is that? And so that's where the load test kind of comes in. You can introduce think time, you can play around with those things, and you can do that. All right, Patrick, what do you do?
A very simple way to do capacity planning is, how big is your model? How big do you anticipate your model to get?
I'm going to debunk that in a second.
I know. And Adam's going to go, right? Because there's so many other factors, right? There's so many other factors to consider. And Adam's right? All that. But you got to also consider model size. You have to consider model size. Because if you make an ugly baby.
Yeah, that's exactly what User 457 just said it. Yep.
If you make an ugly baby, User 457's watching my videos and reading my mind.
Here's my example of the ugly baby. Here's my example of the ugly baby. So everyone's just like, well, how big is that model? Patrick even said, how big's your model? How big's your data?
Yeah.
So very small model. Let's say it's, I don't know. Like you've got a table with like 1 million rows in it. Not even, no, way less than that. Way less than that.
500 megs.
No, way less than that. Way less than that. Maybe 100 to 200
megs.
Now 100 to 200 meg, right? So small data. There's like 1 million rows in the main table. That's it. And
little baby data.
Little baby. And they introduced row level security. I did a video on this, and it took down a P5. And we're not talking about a ton of users either.
But let me ask you this though. When you fixed it, could it be on a P1?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's my point, right?
Yeah, you had an ugly baby, right? But it's not just about the model size, right? Though, and it's also not about the number of users, right? Because you did some funky thing in RLS that caused it to be very CPU intensive, and you had a bad day, right? So, like, took down a P5. Like, oh my gosh, like that was huge. So yeah. So true stories from the cube. So and it wasn't Patrick, if you were thinking. So it wasn't Patrick. So, but yeah. So that's the thing is like like even all of those parameters, like I don't know, right? Because you need to go look at the data to tell. So this is no different too. If we think back in the old days, back in the 1900s, when we had like an on-prem SQL server and you were doing something with a web application, like how did you know how big of a machine you had? You had to go test it and run it, right? You didn't know. There's no way to know. It's no different here, right? So like it depends. I don't know.
But data volume was something you considered.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those are all considerations that come into it. So yeah,
Scott, 1999. We're talking about 1989.
We reserved 1999 for the party.
2000 party over. It's out of time. A little Prince. A little Prince. A little Prince for you.
All right. All right, Tristan. Let's do it. How do you think, what do you think about the new visual calcs? I was a bit skeptical at first, but I changed my mind. I love it. Lowers the barrier to create calcs and can also improve performance sometimes.
I haven't used them. I haven't used them yet. That's the truth. I haven't done anything with visual calcs.
What? That's not completely true.
I have not even. I saw a video on it. If that counts, I saw a video.
Yeah, but
I haven't done anything with visual.
So here's
calcs.
my thing with visual calcs, and the chat kind of continued after Tristan asked this, and it came out of it. It's just like, look, there are things, right? You should be doing, like, if you can follow Matthew's maxim on data transformation. So perform things as far upstream as possible, as far downstream as necessary. Those are all things to consider. But yes, this introduces a feature that can help the business, right? So you can do things. And look, I had conversations with Marco a long while ago about this, and like he's been dying for this feature to come out. Like he's been wanting this. Yeah. And so it is an amazing feature that enables the business for a lot of use cases. However, some of the considerations around it though are, well, it's per visual, right? And that came out in the chat too. But it's per visual, right? So it's not part of the model. So how do you transfer it? Yeah. How do you, how do you do those things? So you need to be mindful of those things. Also, you're potentially introducing something where if a business user injects the DAX and it's not part of the team that created the model, is that DAX performant, right? Is it good, right? So it could cause some issues there. So it's just there's still education that needs to be done around. And I think education is even more important with visual calcs for business users that are doing it. They need to know what they're doing. So
I still haven't used them.
Oh my god,
I haven't used them.
I think it's amazing, Tristan. I think it's a great feature. It's something we've been waiting for a long while. Yeah, it does depend.
Yeah, Kevin, I agree.
It depends.
But I'm not saying they're good or bad. I'm not saying they're good or bad. I just haven't done anything with them yet. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. I wrote it on my white. It's already on my whiteboard.
Yeah. And Carrie, no, you jumped in right in time. So it's all good. It's all good. And then Alex, good to see Alex, 43-month member. Very much appreciated. He said, I just booked my travel. I don't know why that's a cute colon. I just booked my, it is a question. I just booked my travel to Vegas and Fabricom. What shows should I try to see? All of them. Go to all of them.
The BI Power Hour. The BI Power Hour.
He meant Vegas shows. I mean, the Power Hour is going to be a show in itself. So
that's a show. So where are we when we do it? In Vegas. So it's a Vegas show.
Oh, you heard that, Matthew. You heard that, Matthew. It's Vegas, so we gotta take it to another level.
And it's on the strip.
Yeah, we're doing a show on the strip. That's great.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We have residency. We have residency in Vegas. We have residency.
Alex, yes, we've been doing this. So the live stream started in February 2020. So it's 4 years today, or 4 years this month. So that was the first live stream.
Right in COVID, right?
Scott, Cirque de Fabric. Or Fabrique. Did I say that right?
Alex, that's right, Alex. One night only at the MGM Grand. That's right. One night only.
All singing, all dancing, all slicing. Well, and we got to be careful about that too. Like, it's a show, right? So at some point, do we say off with his head? I don't know. and then the sword comes down. Who knows? Who knows? Be careful, Patrick.
Yeah.
Will we have showgirls? I'm like, if you consider Patrick that, I mean, sure.
On to the next question.
All right. Moving on. Gopa, this is a 3-parter. Oof.
I know.
Oh, that is so tiny to read. What is the best way to model the following scenario? Oh my gosh. Business process.
That's crazy.
There's a lot of stuff there. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to process that.
I got it. I read it already.
All right.
I got it.
All right. So that's the thing. Take a screenshot, everyone. Each process is linked to the next process through an ID that is relevant from process. Reports include knowing the current status of each inquiry. I'm confused. Were those like actual like table relationships?
Just keep going.
Multiple dimensions, common and unique, attached to each of the processes. Is a chained relationship between between the fact table starting from inquiry the way. Is this the way?
No.
This is the way.
This is not the way. This is not the way. So the first thing you have to do is tell us what questions you're trying to answer.
Yes. Yeah. What's the problem you're trying to solve?
Answer, right? I cannot answer that question until you tell me what questions or what problem you're trying to solve. From there looks like there's more than one fact table. I think Scott said that. Yeah, Scott said there's 3 types of fact tables. There's more than one fact table in there, depending on what you're trying to answer. Right? I think there's more than one fact table in there, depending on what you're trying to answer. And then you go to the grain of whatever questions you're trying to answer at those fact tables. Maybe there's 3. I think I got 3, but don't change the fact tables. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah, don't chain the fact table. I think there's 3 in there, but it could be 2 depending on what you're trying to answer.
Yeah.
And then once you figure out what you're trying to answer, because I don't know what you're trying to answer. Once you figure out what you're trying to answer, then that will determine the questions. So then what questions are you trying to ask? And then that'll determine your dimensions. And then once we know the grain, we'll know if there's 2 or 3 fact tables in there. I can't give you a definitive answer on that because I don't have enough information. There you go.
Yeah.
But don't cross the fact tables.
Denormalize that model upstream. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Yes.
But do not set relationships between your fact tables. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Do not do that.
Yeah.
All right.
Patrick the Wise. That's funny.
Patrick the Wise. Ooh, he doesn't know you very well. Take it, man. Take it.
This guy lives, eats, breathes, and sleeps on Kimball Lane. I've seen it. I do.
Oh my gosh. Kimball's is no. I shouldn't say that's a bad thing to say.
Just go. Just move on. Just move on.
Prachi.
I was thinking about. Do you remember the conversation we had yesterday about what Buck? The quote that Buck told us.
God.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not
don't
gonna say it.
that.
I'm not gonna
Don't
say
say
it.
that.
I'm not gonna say it. Okay.
Don't say that.
I'm not gonna say it.
No,
I'm not
don't
gonna
say it.
I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
say
no,
it.
no,
I'm not gonna say it.
No.
I'm not gonna say it.
And Donald, I'm not
I'm
saying what
gonna
I was
say
going to say. That's
Hello, Buck.
Yeah.
Hello, Buck.
Hello, Buck. All right. Here we go. How can I read data from a .dta file using Fabric? I don't even know what a .dta file is.
Okay, so I looked it up.
Wait. I'm encountering a version error that's not supported. Would you please provide advice and share some references? What's a DTA file?
It looks like it's some type of proprietary database file.
Well, sure.
So that's what I got.
I got that from
Right.
it. Yeah.
And so if it's if you think about it, if you're working with SQL Server, for everyone that, because I'll bring it down to the whatever we all know, right? An MDF file is a proprietary SQL Server file. If you try to open that, you probably can't. And so whoever.
Okay. Yeah. So DTA is it's like Easy Forms data file uses it, but it's used by many different applications for storing. It's a proprietary.
Yeah, it's proprietary.
Yeah.
So you got to find something that can read that.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an ODBC driver, or you need some type of connector that can read that file, right?
Yeah, Toma, I went to Bing and I looked at it.
Yeah, I did too. When I saw that question pop up.
Yeah.
So you got to find something that can read that file.
Yeah. So, and then in terms of using it with Fabric, it's probably you're going to end up going with like an ODBC driver or an OLEDB provider, right? And then probably an ODBC driver of some kind that can read that. The thing that is problematic there is it says DTA is used by many different applications, which means what's the schema of that? Like, I don't know. It might be different depending on, like, it doesn't sound like it's a common schema, so I don't know. But anyway, yeah, you need it. You need to transform that somehow, and or get a connector that can read it. So, yeah, no magic there. No magic there.
No
All right,
magic. No
we got
magic.
2 more minutes. 2 more minutes.
Oh wait, look. Alex says, "Hang on." Alex says,
Interesting.
"Python pandas." Oh, okay.
So
okay.
Notebook and PySpark the stuff out of it, right? There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All right,
Thank
thanks,
you, Alex. Thank you, Alex. All right. Okay. Big John. Big John. We always talk about Power BI and Fabric, but not much about automated apps. Why? So that's not part of Fabric?
Power Automate and
Yeah, Power
Apps.
Automate and Power Apps on the Power Platform side.
Oh.
So I will say, Big John personally, like that's not Patrick's and my wheelhouse. So the team that we are on are about Power BI and Fabric. And so
Wait.
Power,
I thought Power BI was part of.
it is part of Power Platform,
Oh.
and it's part of Fabric.
No. I thought it was part of. Okay.
It's part of both, right? But if you think about like the actual, so some of this comes down to some internal Microsoft stuff regarding like team structures and whatnot. So,
So does Power Platform include Fabric?
No.
Since Power BI is part of Fabric.
I mean,
what you said, Power BI.
sure, in like an Inception kind of way, yeah, but it's specific to
But
Power BI.
I can call Power Automate from Power BI, and I can embed a Power
absolutely
app
can.
in my Power BI. So maybe you
Absolutely you can.
should start talking about. Maybe you should start talking about.
And we
start
have.
talking about Power Apps.
And we have. We've got videos on it. We just don't talk about it a lot. So, like, our core audience is, I mean, if you want to ask the question, you can ask the question. We can tell you what we know, but it's, I started looking at folks like Shane Youngs or other folks on that front for those kind of
Yeah,
things.
it's true.
So, yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
All
I'm
right.
just giving Adam a hard time.
Chatmaster C has said she's clearing the queue. I guess she did say that, right? Yes. All right. So we are at that time. We're at the halfway mark. So we are going to go into member-only mode. Member-only mode means that members and moderators will be able to participate in the chat. Everyone else can still watch the stream, but will not necessarily will not be able to actually participate in the chat directly. So this is one of the benefits of being a member. If you do have a burning question that we didn't get to, there were a bunch in the queue. Sorry, we don't get to all of them. But if you do have a burning question we didn't get to and you want it answered, super chats always take priority. So you can do a super chat. Make sure you type in the question before you hit the button. Or if you just want to send a super chat to be nice, like you could do that without a question. It's all good. And so we will automate this app in the queue. I love that, Tristan. So we will go over to that. Let's cut over.
I don't think there were any questions.
What? Not yet.
I don't think there's
Oh,
any
a
member
few.
questions.
There's one. There's one. Hang on, man. Just getting started. It's all right. All right. We are now in member only. We should be. There we go. All right. We are now in member only chat. So again, super chats take priority if you need it. And I'm also going to pin. You can. There's a link in the chat if you want to learn more about being a member, or you can hit the join button down below. Again, no commitment required. All right. One of the benefits of being a member is at the visitor or producer tier, you can pre-submit questions, and we do have a question today. Yeah. Oh man, I hope I copied this over. Did I?
You did.
Yes, I did. All right. So Jonathan had a question. I have a data set that reads 2 XML files and uses that information to dynamically build a query string to query a SQL server. I'm not able to refresh the Excel files as they're on my client's machine. So the client's machine is different from his tenant, right? So SQL Server's in their environment also. So they've got a gateway in the client's tenant that Jonathan signed into with his tenant information. And the SQL Server piece works fine. This XML file doesn't really update, so what they're doing is they're trying to exclude the XML query from the refresh, but it's still asking for connections for both the database and the XML file. Seems like Power BI doesn't like that file isn't in my tenant. All right, there's several things to unpack here. And Gino, thank you for becoming a member. Very much appreciated. Several things to unpack here. The whole idea of Power BI doesn't like that file because it's not in my tenant, that has nothing to do with this. Because you're installing the gateway in your customer's environment and you're signing in with your credentials that are in your tenant. At that point, the gateway is just going out to a file path to get the file, right? So it doesn't care. It has no knowledge of like your Azure AD tenant in that scenario because that's a local connection at that point. What it does care about is the Windows credentials that you put in for that XML file. So you got to do that. So one thing I did, enough of all this talking, you know we like to do it. Let's head over to my machine. And so I do have a file here. One thing I'll show you that I'm doing, I just did this to mock up the situation. So I've got this filter query that's just getting a scalar value from an Excel file, right? So it's simple. And what I'm doing with that is I'm pumping in, I'm just grabbing that value and then I'm stuffing it in my query. So again, this is not like elegant or anything. I just threw this together to illustrate the fact that it's always going to reference this file. The other thing I did is, or at least I thought I did. So what I did is I said, I unchecked include in report refresh, right? And so the current value is 2013. So if we go to the service and we go look at this file, you'll actually see, so the filter value that's in that table is 2013 and the data in the chart is filtering on 2013. This is great. So let me go ahead and update the value. Let's just call it 2019. Boom. And then we'll go back. Let's go refresh the data. And we'll do a refresh. That'll take a second. But what's going to happen here is that we're going to see that the filter table that's in the model is not going to update. So that will still say 2013, but because I'm stuffing it in the SQL query, that's at the Power Query level. So it's still referencing that query. So it's got to run that query. And that should show 2019 at that point. Well, whenever it's done refreshing. Are we still refreshing? Oh, helps to refresh the right one. Patrick, I messed it up. I didn't refresh the right one. You're not even watching. It's fine. And you're muted, so you can't even talk.
I'm not even paying attention.
I know you're not. All right, that's done. So let's go back and look. And if we do refresh here, we should see, look, the visual is 2019, right? But the filter value is still 2013. So the actual table in the model didn't refresh because I unchecked the include and refresh, but the SQL query still ran for the main fact table, right? Because we referenced that query. So it's going to run that query regardless, even if you don't say include and refresh. But the kicker here, what the question was from Jonathan was if I go to settings and we come down to the gateway thing, his question was, come on, it's got to refresh. So his question is really, if I said don't include it in the refresh, why is it there? And that's because it's referenced in Power Query, right? It's a query table that's there. And so you still have to supply the credentials for it, which means you have to set this up in the gateway and you have to supply the Windows credentials for your client's environment, right? That has to be supplied there. That's the only way to do it. So you got to do that. So, all right. What do you think, Patrick? Or were you not? You didn't like it.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah. It's good.
So yeah, I love that question because there's a bunch of different things in there to unpack. But in that case, even though you're saying don't include it in the refresh, it's still a connection that's in the model, which means you have to assign that on the gateway to actually do a refresh in the service. So there you go. All right. Yeah, David. I love the whole two tenant thing. It was getting confusing. I'm like, well, actually, when you think about a tenant, the client's tenant's not even there, right? So because that's all local in that context. So when I think of tenant, I think of the Azure AD or Entra ID tenant itself. And in this case, there's only one tenant involved because it's Jonathan's tenant, right? So we're not touching the customer's tenant. We're touching their local environment. And so from a gateway perspective, that's all it cares about. So, all right. Cool. All right. that was the only pre-submitted question. So we'll go back to the queue. Are you ready, Patrick?
Yeah. Yes.
I feel that you're ready. You got distracted, man.
I'm reading something.
All right.
I'm reading a question.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Karthik's got a question here. I tried scraping data from a web page on Fabric Conference to make a list of sessions I need to go. Any easy way to view it in Power BI?
Well, if you're able to scrape it,
Yeah.
I mean, you could do web scraping. There's a web connector in Power BI.
Yeah.
You can scrape a web from examples. We've done some videos on that a long time ago. You can use web from examples to scrape it. I mean,
Well, so my thing is, you said you tried scraping data from a web page. Did that work? If it did work, I mean, you've got the data now, so now you can build visuals on top of the data. So
you gotta look at Alex's response.
oh my gosh, yeah. So Alex is bringing up another. Well, so we'll come back to Alex's point in a second, but I want to talk about the technical piece of this, right? So if you scrape the data, he said it's not. Karthik said it's not giving me session details. Yeah, because you have to go into each individual session to get the details, so that becomes a little harder. But I mean, you got to get the data, right? So yes, in your scenario, yes, you'd have to scrape the data and then potentially go through. You could create a function that goes into each individual page, because you could build out what the query string is for that and then pass that in. And so there's ways to do that, right? And then get that data, and then you can visualize it. But now back to Alex's point. Don't do that. So they use this for, if you've been to Power Platform Conference, they use this as well. But for Fabric Conference, the Hoover app will be used, and you have all the sessions in there, and you can build out your own schedule. It's a mobile app. It's actually really good. I like it.
Yeah, it's a really good app.
Like when I was at Power Platform Conference, I'm just in the Hoover app doing it. And there's so many other community things in there too that I really like it. But just do it there. So I don't know,
but I bet you Karthik was just trying some stuff, right? He's just they're just tinkering. They're just tinkering, trying to figure it out.
Yeah, and this is a great. It's a great way to go explore technology, right? So, there's not an API for the data for you, Karthik. But what you could do is what I said. So you go to the main session page, and you scrape that, and then you go into an individual session and figure out what the URL is and what they're passing in for that session, and then you can kind of potentially mock it up. Right. So you'd have a function for the session details, and then you'd have to call that from a Power Query perspective, and then you could get the full data. So that's how I would start going and playing with it. So, but yeah, the Hoover app. Use the Hoover app. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, you need to create a function. Yep. And then Jonathan, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome.
Appreciate you.
Whew. That was a good one. Use the Hoover app. And Chris is like, what the heck is Hoover? You'll find out. All right, Christian. Are there any gotchas when sharing reports with external users? Any tips and tricks on this? What to look out for? I mean...
What's the data? Be careful of the data you share with them.
So
I don't know. Maybe
if
there's some proprietary information in there.
Yeah, right? I mean that's a point. So should they have access to that data if you start thinking about any type of data exfiltration concerns, that is something. So David said MCAS. So MCAS, it has a new name. It's part of Purview now. I forget what the new name is. It's like a virtual app or something like that. I forget what it is. But the MCAS stuff, that's good for if you're outside of your defined organization. So going through conditional access and things like policies, things like that. That could prevent export of data. From an external user perspective, though, and it's shared, I think you still have to authenticate. So as long as you've provisioned and you've validated they can have access, you can have that. But data exfiltration is probably the biggest concern.
Yeah, Sarbanes-Oxley, HIPAA. But so probably outside of all those things, though, right? Probably outside of all the security, because I bet you that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
To Christian is control it, manage it. Don't let people do the click that viral share button, right? Especially for external people, make them part of a group.
Well, there's a
'cause their
tenant
B2B
setting
account will be there.
for
Yeah.
controlling external
Yeah.
users. So,
Yeah,
John,
control it better.
John, HIPAA is a U.S. Health
Yeah.
law process policy. So there's certifications
Yeah.
that applications can have if they're
Adam-
HIPAA compliant. But it's
Adam,
a
can
U.S.
you add
thing.
external? Can you add external users to groups?
So there are challenges.
So
on
if
that
you
front.
can, so if you
Yeah,
can,
there are
Christian,
challenges.
If you can,
Yeah.
if you can, though, Christian, yes, absolutely. I would create
It
security.
depends on the
groups.
group.
Yeah.
So,
So if you can, if there's a type of group that you can add them to, instead of adding them individually, I would
Yeah.
create a group for maybe there's multiple organizations, one for each organization, one
Yeah.
for the levels of access they need. Put them in a group and assign them.
the other thing too, when we think about B2B, business to business, when we're talking about external users, so there's also, depending on what you're using in Fabric, there are nuances there as well. So I know folks are saying RLS. RLS has some things you need to be aware of on that front. So, but yeah, you can add for groups. If it's a security group, you can. If it's like an Office 365 group, like then you start running into problems. It's like
Okay.
it depends on
Okay.
the group. There's a lot of different things that are groups, and so like which group are we talking about? Security groups, you should be able to
Yeah.
do it though.
Yeah,
But
guesting
there are
groups are a
nuances.
good idea.
Yeah. So
I mean, I think guesting groups are a good idea whether they're internal or external, though, right? I
Yeah,
think
it
groups.
just- my thing is just
Well, but-
explore the nuances of doing that though, because there are like some basic things will be fine, but if you have other requirements for what you want to do with it, then it starts becoming a problem.
Well, but
could be a
if I think
problem.
about groups, right, you can have policies that's further up than somebody managing in Power BI. So let's say, you work in the HR department. Let's say Adam works in HR, and then he gets a job working in finance. If we're managing this at a group level, there's something that the AD people or the entre people will automatically do on the back end that's probably not going to happen in Power BI. So you'll end up having access to HR and finance. So if we do it via groups, we don't have to worry about it as the Power BI people.
Yeah, no, the groups are always
Anyway.
a great way to go.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend you doing that from a management perspective instead of doing it for individuals. But yeah, it becomes challenging with B2B. Do what?
What's access packages? I'm going to say access packages. I don't know what those are.
I don't know what that is either. I'm going to say
Oh.
again, just because it solves so many.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what access
I
package
don't know what
is,
that is.
David.
So something I got to go look up now.
Yep.
So, all right.
You're welcome, Christian.
Groups are being renamed to community. What? No.
I don't know.
No. Like an Entra ID security group is not. That can't be. That's not going to be renamed to community, right? That can't be real. Unless you're talking about Office,
let's
the
keep
Microsoft
going.
365 groups. That might.
Okay.
All right. All right. Dang. All right, Miss Belinda. Adam, where did you get your shirt? I did a video on that. Hey, Alex, can you go find my shirt video and drop it? This is an example of successful Facebook targeted ads. So I am their poster child. So it depends. There's various sites that I go order from. So yay. So I do have a shirt video else because so many people would ask me. So I'm like, I'm just doing a video on this. Like there was a while where a lot of people asked me. There you go. Thank you, Alex.
That is weird, Alex.
I do have a
weird.
shirt video.
That is very weird.
There was
That is
one point
weird.
where Chat Master C, I think she made a comment to me. She's like, "Your wardrobe is bigger than mine." Like I've got a ton of like nerd shirts. So yeah.
And you know what? More
need
people
to get
probably
more
watch
also.
that video than any of the videos that I put out.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That's funny. I don't
Fashion
use her.
tips from Adam. No fashion tips from Adam. No.
What are you talking about?
I'm
a classy guy.
Wrong sneakers. No.
Apparently, like you have to pay attention to your socks. I learned that from Patrick.
Yes.
All right. Fashion tip number 1 from Adam: wear white socks and then wear sandals over it. You will be comfortable. Just a kid. It's like layers of wrongness right there. I can't speak to that, Gary. There was anyway. I do my own laundry, Wyatt. Everyone in our household does their own laundry. I'm very particular about it, which is why I do my own, and that happened way early on in the marriage. So, anyway, all right. Yes, since day one. All right, Alex. What's up with views in the lake house? You can create them with a SQL command, and they'll be queryable, including in another session, but they don't appear in the catalog UI. Ideas.
They don't.
.fabric.microsoft.com.
They don't appear anywhere. And so that's what I was reading when Alex posted that. I created one. I went and created one in a notebook. You can create them in the SQL endpoint, and they show. And there's even a new option when you go to create the semantic model that you can go views and tables to see both views and tables. But when you create it in a lakehouse in a notebook, it's not there. And Alex made the point I was about to make. It's a different SQL Explorer, and I just don't think we make it available in that UX.
Yeah. Well, and Alex is Alex said that the Explorer is different than the SQL Explorer, and so it's just there's nuances there again. So
it's just not there.
But yeah, and I know I know Alex D is he's Microsoft, so he's got other ways to give feedback. But yeah, ideas. So all right. Moving on, Gino. BI released visual level new calcs. Yeah. DAX for Dummies. I have it working, but I can't seem to reference it in the conditional formatting. Make red if negative and show I. Ooh, that's interesting. So I don't know. I haven't looked at the limitations. Is that a limitation where for visual calcs you can't do conditional formatting? It's interesting.
I don't know.
Let me look real quick. I don't know. I haven't played around with it at that level. Let's see. Let's see what the docs say. Let's go to the. I know nobody reads the docs, but I don't know. Oh, that didn't work. Apparently, I can't get to the documentation easily with a search. So it took me to the roadmap, not the doc.
Why don't you just
anyway?
Here we go. Visual Code.
Yeah, ChatGPT, Copilot. Yeah. Why it's saying formatting's not there yet. So it's probably just a limitation. I have to believe it'll come. So you got it, Patrick? Is there a limitations section? Oh, look at those limitations. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm going to your machine. Look at that list of limitations. Whew. Whew. Wow. Make sure you read that. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's in preview. Yeah. Yep.
I don't see anything about conditional though. Oh yeah, there you go, right there.
There you go. You can't use conditional formatting on visual calcs. Yep. So, and you can't use field parameters on it. So yeah, look at the limitations. Look at the docs. So, and we're happy to be your search engine. So, no, good question, Gino, though. But yeah, always check out the limitations, especially for preview features. Especially for preview features, check out the limitations. That's a long list. I'm sure it'll get better.
A lot of people don't read the docs. Before I do a video on something, I read all the docs I can on it.
Also, it's interesting because I'm going to be doing a video with Jay on visual calcs. So I'm like, So maybe we can talk about that in there. So I'll sneak that in. So, yeah. All right. Let's go with Jonathan, new member. One of the biggest problems I face in my career with dashboards. Wait, okay. I'm going to pause there.
Yeah.
When you say dashboards, my natural assumption is you're talking about a Power BI report, not the actual Power BI dashboard item within.
It is.
All right.
It is.
All right.
It is.
So I face my career with dashboards, and our consumer partners insist they need a table with bolding specific rows for hierarchy versus sub-hierarchies. Why is this not available? I don't know. But wait.
If I'm in I don't know what they mean by sub-hierarchy. Are they talking about the next level in the hierarchy? And so you can check, because I think you can do conditional formatting on rows in a matrix.
Yes.
And if you can do conditional formatting, you could check the scope of it, and if it's in that scope,
Can you do the scope with a
could you-
conditional format?
well, it's a measure, so you're going to use that measure
Oh,
to
yeah,
determine
yeah,
if it's
yeah,
bolded,
yeah,
colored, or something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And so you should be able to. Okay, let me write that down, Adam.
Okay. So, Jonathan, the other thing I was thinking too is like if there's a specific, like if that's not obvious, or maybe there's another way that this could be implemented, go out to ideas. And when you do go to ideas, check out, be sure to include your business problem and what you're trying to accomplish. But yeah, there's a potential way you could potentially do this.
Yeah.
We also don't have all the specifics of your questions, so we don't necessarily know if there's a nuance in there that would cause what Patrick's suggesting not to work, which is possible.
I don't know. I haven't tried it. I haven't tried it, but it would be interesting. Yeah, it's in scope. User 457. That's what I'm thinking. Because if I can check the scope of the level, if I'm not at the top level, and so let's say the top level is country.
Yeah.
So if I'm not at that level, bold. Return a that says it's red or blue. I don't know, if you control it that way.
Yeah.
But yeah. And so I want to. So a few people have asked about a video on TMDL about me doing that video.
Yeah.
That's all Adam. That's all Adam. So that's Adam would do that video on. Yeah, Adam would do that video. Adam, that guy right there, would do that video. Not me. That's an Adam thing.
Right. And then anything API or security related, that's a Patrick video, right?
Wonderful. I got it. I'm all over
All
it.
right.
I'm all over it.
You should get Rui and do a video with Rui.
We're already working on it.
Yeah, we're working
he
on
got
it.
me.
All
Yes, I am.
Yeah,
working
we're
on
asking
it. It's,
Matthias.
it's actually
Yeah.
on. It's already on the whiteboard. Timdal. It's like SQL Timdal.
Yeah.
And so, but it's interesting the thing that Rui is showing that it showed me. And so, once I get it done, I'm going to show Adam, and he'll.
There's a
tell
lot
me.
of different things you could show on that topic. So
Yeah.
like there's multiple
Yeah.
videos
Yeah.
there. It's not just one.
So Toma said Adam is busy doing T-shirt videos.
People watched it. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, a lot of people watched it.
Oh gosh. Just saying. There are some videos I've done. Patrick's like, "Why did you do that?" Video? I'm like, "People watched it." So, all right.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. Ramesh. Also, Patrick, anyway, they didn't put a Q colon in front of it, so I'm not going to bring it up. Anyway,
Say it. Just say it. Go ahead.
it was about the event house thing. Like, what the heck's event house? I don't know that we can.
Can I say what an event?
I don't
say
know.
what-
I mean, it's
I
in
don't
the
know.
product, but I don't think the documentation is there. So
I'm not saying anything about it. I'm not saying anything about
sorry,
it.
Ramesh. Before your question, we actually did find out what an event house is, and I was just like,
I
huh?
do. I know what an event house
Yeah,
is.
we do know what it is. As of yesterday, we know what it is. But it's like, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
anyway. All right, Alex, super chat. I love it. Bumping the queue. Easiest way
You
to
know
create
this.
a calendar table.
Copilot. Use
Copilot.
Use
Copilot.
Use Copilot in Power Query.
We found something interesting
Copilot.
too. You gotta come.
Alex knows.
No, I know Alex knows. But you gotta come. I think it'll make a presence in the keynote at the Fabric conference, and also at SQL Bits, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely at
it's
SQL
gonna be
Bits.
At SQL Bits.
Maybe
Yeah, it's definitely at
also
SQL Bits.
maybe Fabric conference keynote. I don't know.
Adam.
Anyway,
Adam.
You gotta
I think
watch
We made a big
to know.
mistake.
we made a
I
mistake.
think we made a big mistake. I'll tell you about it later. Let's just not talk about the EH word anymore.
Well, they said it in the chat. I didn't bring it up.
Yeah, let's just not talk about it. Let's just not talk about it.
It was all over Twitter.
I know,
my
but
problem.
it's not in our tenant though.
Okay. Whatever. It was on Twitter. Someone asked it in the chat.
Bless
That's
your
all I'm
heart.
saying. Yeah,
Bless your
Bless
heart.
your heart. All right. So, yes. So, Copilot calendar table. It's amazing. All right. Let's go. Ramesh. We got
Alex.
Ramesh's question.
Alex is funny.
We got
Alex
3
is
minutes.
funny.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on info DAX functions? Is this
I
a
like
step
them.
towards making it easier to actively monitor models? Seem like there's a lot of potential there, better than using external tools.
Yes, it's on my It's on my whiteboard over here.
There's a lot of stuff on this
to come
whiteboard,
up with the.
just so you know.
I'm just at 10. I'm just at 10 right now. I'm just at 10. I cleaned it up, but there's so many things you can find out about these info functions, and so look at that.
Yeah,
look at this. Right, information. No, this is not it.
No,
This is
that's
not
the
it.
DMV, man. He's talking about. They're
Yeah,
talking about
that's not
the
it.
info. Go to DAX.guide.
That guy. These. Look at all these.
Yeah.
Why can't I make this bigger?
You gotta zoom in. Well, you
Look at
control
that.
and then scroll. Yeah, look at all those.
Look at that.
Look at that. Look at that.
Oh
That's
my
nice.
God.
It's nice. So yeah, you can use that for documentation. You can use it for validation. You can use it for all sorts of stuff. It's nice.
Man, you can use it to get all the measures in your model. You could just say, "Give me all the measures. Give me all the measures."
Yeah.
Right. I like it. Yeah.
All right. All right. User 457. Has anyone tried the Copilot commenting something for descriptions for
Yes.
measures? Is
Yeah.
it worth looking
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Look at it. All I'm saying is take a look when you have an interesting measure, like not just sum of sales or something like that, right? Do like a ratio of something, or percentage growth or something like that, and let me know what it
So one of the
says.
challenges is there's two things I'll call out. One is if you have a referenced measure, it doesn't traverse the reference, so it doesn't know like what it's doing. Another thing too is if you're using custom names, like things that aren't obvious to
Wait.
ChatGPT, it's not gonna. It's a little spotty on that front. What?
So you shouldn't use custom names because nobody is going to know what those custom names. You should use human readable
Yeah,
names.
because
for
like if you have a
measures.
date, we all know that you call the date column XYZZY.
No.
I ran into that one time. It was totally confusing. I'm like, what the heck is that?
But do I really care in the description? Do I really care about the measure that the measure is referencing, or what that
Depends.
measure
It's
is?
introducing logic.
All right.
So what's it doing?
Okay. So it depends. Go give it a go and let me know. I want to know more about complex measures, right? Not just basic measures. Let's try it on complex measures.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It depends. It depends.
Sure.
I like it. Yeah.
YYZ is a great song. Jason. Oh, you made it to the UK, Jason. Glad to see you made it. All right. Hey, there's I know we're at time. There's so that was David's thing on the event house. So he did put QCol in front of it. So we'll I think we already addressed that. So yeah. So
I
all
don't
right.
know anything about event houses.
Oh my gosh.
I know about lake houses and warehouses. That's all I know.
Oh my gosh. You don't know anything about it. That's interesting. All right. Patrick, any closing words of wisdom?
Yeah. Yes.
We're at the
yes.
end. We're at the end.
I did a lot of this today. Talk less, people. Listen more. All right. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. You should listen more than you talk. I'm just saying. All right. Go for it, Al.
All right. Good advice. Good advice. I think he was taking a jab at me a little bit, but I feel potentially violated a little bit.
I'm telling you, you have like 2 more. You have another whole ear, and you only have 1 mouth. I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying.
I do. Yeah. All right. 2 ears and 1 mouth. Go with the bigger number. All right. Let's do a shirt on that, man. All right. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us. We will be back next Saturday. So start thinking about your questions for next week. All right. Love y'all. We'll see you on the interwebs. We'll see you. Bye.
The surprises. I never dealt with chemical reactions. It comes down to this day. You're gonna be a tough act to follow, and you better believe it. Just take a bite and see that it's gonna be too much to swallow. You better believe it. Yeah, I got one more trick, but you're gonna be a tough act to follow. To follow. the people wanna get in the circus, trying hard to keeping up with the Joneses. Every thorn has got a trouble and purpose, and you're lying in a place